let's get started. So let's settle into a nice, comfortable seated posture. Isn't it amazing all the different things that can happen? Everyone has a sort of a slightly different thing going on, and it's amazing how many different ways the body can go wrong as well. Always, I find that kind of fascinating. So, all these practices we're doing, they're working on many different levels to sort of help us support a healthy lifestyle, mentally, physically, spiritually. So that goes kind of a long way, I think, to promoting good health. So just making also dedication for everybody to have a healthy life and a easeful life, free of stress, and a peaceful life. So no more bombing anybody. Yeah. So just also align the spine. Feel the weight of your sits bones, your hands in your lap, sits bones in the chair, and just align your shoulders with your hips and your ears with your shoulders. And imagine your spine is a beautiful string of pearls of light stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. So just lengthen your spine. Imagine you have this beautiful string of pearls of light stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. And then go to the ground of the head and relax your scalp and your forehead, eyes and nose and cheeks, and the area around your mouth, back of the tongue, the jaw, the ears and the inner ear, the back of the head. And just put a little bit of length in the back of the neck. Just in this way, your chin will drop a little bit maybe, but not too far down. Otherwise, you'll go to sleep. Not too high up. This is where you have this constriction in the back of the neck. So just a little bit of length there. And just allow your shoulders and shoulder blades to drop down. Relax your throat and your chest and your belly and all of the limbs. And then go to the crown of the head and just notice the sensations there. Feel maybe pressure or tingling. Then just relax your scalp, relax the forehead, relax the eyes and the nose and the cheeks. Just all of your face, just release any tension there. And then relax the ears and the inner ears and your temples and the back of the head. And the throat and the chest and the belly and all of your limbs. And then focusing your attention on your breath. Just notice the sensations as you inhale and exhale. Could be focusing at the nostrils, around the chest cavity, or in your belly. And then being aware of any sound in your environment, just allowing those sounds to be there and trying not to follow with the mind. Try not to investigate. So we are so happy to be distracted. So just see if, when you hear a sound or you feel a vibration or the pet walks past, see if you can avoid the mind from kind of engaging. Like when we do our meditation in the morning and I hear the birds start I mean, on Tuesday was just around 6:45. So my mind goes out to engage, and it's fine at this kind of level. But when you're at a very more advanced and a more advanced level of meditating, things like that can disturb the mind. So it's good to train the mind now to sort of not kind of allow it to wander here, there, and everywhere. And of course, the mind will notice a sound. We're not completely ignoring it, but it's just not. There's not an engagement there. There's an awareness. So then also just notice what's going on in your mind this evening. And for some of you, of course, it's daytime. And just notice the thoughts as they arise. Are they disturbing? You just see if you can breathe. Just releasing anything that's not very helpful. And then try not to judge what's there. Just observe it, look at it, examine it, and then let it go. And then thinking about all the people of our life, our loved ones, our strangers, ones we don't like. Remembering they're all equal. They all want to be happy. They don't want to suffer. And they all have this extraordinary capacity for enlightened mind. So we think there is no negativity that can't be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. So we create negativity with our mind, and equally we can change that by creating positivity instead. And we start with this power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. And we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. And so, having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. And we cannot bear the thought of any future suffering that we will experience. And we know from our present suffering we don't want any more. So logically, it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So we think, I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also regret any anger and attachment and bitterness and grudges, all our delusions. And these are the cause of why we harm others, and think I'm sick of this suffering. And then we think, well, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to this power of reliance. So we turn to the Buddha, who we see as a doctor, who has these methods that we can use to purify. And it's not that we need Buddha to forgive us. We're purifying ourselves by relying upon his medicine. So you imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head, and you can also imagine this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he's made of this beautiful, radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion, and has this beautiful, radiant face and long, kind of almond-shaped, lotus-like shaped eyes. And they're very peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. And his arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. So the left is closest to the heart. And it holds a bell representing wisdom. The right holds a vajra representing the indestructibility of compassion. And when they're crossed like that, it represents enlightenment, infinite wisdom, infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, so the very beings we've harmed and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of people you've harmed recently and in the past, and then in general, all beings we have ever harmed since beginningless time. And then remember those who have harmed you, and have compassion for them, because the harm they've caused you is going to result in suffering for them sometime in the future. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for all these beings and think, I must purify for their sake. And then we come to this power of remedy, and this is the medicine doing the practice of purification. And we start with the body. And Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart. And it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid, and this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samayam Anupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samayam Anupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe, vajrasattva samayam manupalaya, vajrasattva dina patita, jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe. Vajrasattva samayam manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita. Jida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me. Sitam Triyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Triyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think that there's no way you could do anything other than benefit others now with your body. And next is the purification of our speech. And Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech. And this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So you imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying and talking about people behind their backs and getting other people to agree with you. All of this is purified by the powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra again. Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasappa Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasappa Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others now with your speech. And next is the purification of our mind. And Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So as instantaneously as the light coming when you flick on the switch, the light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, and all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, all your attachment and neediness and anger and bitterness and grudges and depression and resentment, all of this instantly dispelled, not one atom left as you recite the mantra. Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa, Situkaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anurakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sitame, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan, Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe, Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Jida Meboa, Situkaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anurakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan, Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe, Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Jida Meboa, Situkaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anurakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Mebowa Situkaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anurakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified. And think that there's no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. And next is the purification of even the imprints of negativity of our body, speech, and mind. So working at a much more subtle level here. So you imagine Vajrasattva sends light and nectar, and this fills you completely and eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your consciousness. So the nectar flows down, pushing out all the negativity of the body. Then the nectar flows up, pushing out all the negativity of the speech. And then the light comes and just blasts all of the delusions. This happens all at the same time. And then you're also reciting the mantra. So a lot going on. It's very busy. But this way eradicates all of these very subtle imprints. Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa, Sitokaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anurakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa, Sitokaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anurakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa, Sitokaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anurakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa, Sitokaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anurakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa, Sitokaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anurakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa, Sitokaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anurakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. So now feel you're completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. And then we come to this power of resolve and the fourth and the final step in the purification process. And it's really crucial. This is this determination to refrain from harming with our body and our speech and our mind. And without this, we just keep doing the same old things over and over again. So this determination to refrain from harming becomes like a beacon that guides our body and our speech and our mind in more positive directions. So just think of something you would like to work on between now and tomorrow. Keep it simple. Just a little thing. Just think about it maybe every now and then during the day, and just have an aspiration to sort of remove that thing from your life. Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wants to merge with your mind and melts into you and absorbs into you through your crown. And imagine my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. So next, Rinpoche recommends to meditate on emptiness. So in emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma. And there is no negative karma created. So however you understand emptiness, whatever you know about that word, just place it, your mind there for a little while. And think that all phenomena are empty. They do not exist from their own side. And you can also think that the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this practice to all living beings and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. So let's just do our chanting the names of Manjushri. Nirvana, peacefulness, tranquility, approaching graceful entry to nirvana, the culmination ending pain and pleasure, the state devoid of passion, free from substrates, beyond defeat, unmanifest, unmatched, not making manifest, appearance free, pervasive, timeless, fully omnipresent, a minute minute beyond defilements, seed free. Was it minute? Unstained, devoid of passion, passionless, controlling humors, free from every illness, by nature most awakened, fully awake, omniscient, knowing everything, supreme. All right, everyone, let's have a strong wish for for His Holiness the Dalai Lama to live long, then for all of our individual teachers, and then should have said this first, for the swift return of Lama